this is really skill testing. I'm going to ask each of you to think about the shortest word that you know. It starts with the letter N. And like I said, it's 2 letters. On the count of 3, can you all say it? 1, 2, no. Oh, you said it so nice. Now I want to say it like you really mean it. Okay, like snow is here. What do you want to say? Some of you are like it, and other ones don't. But we're going to pretend we're going to say no. So 1, 2, no. Okay. What I'd like to share with you is no is one of those words that you can actually use to grow your business. How many of you thought that you could actually use no to grow your business? Anybody? No. Most of us think of we have to say yes. How many of you think we have to say yes to grow our business? Yeah, that was me. When I first started, and I know for me, when I first started my business, I said yes to everything. I had a flag business back when I was in my 20s, not that long ago. But I would say yes to everything. When you're a new entrepreneur, how many of you did that to grow your business? Somebody asked you to do something? Say, yeah, sure, I can do that. I said yes to everything. I can remember still, it was a flag business, and I can remember the first order of flags that I made. They were so bad. I sewed them up myself. I had a little domestic sewing machine. I made golf flags because they're solid color, right? And I've got this order. And they were so crooked on the edges because I didn't have folder and everything that you needed to make flags. But I did them anyhow. And these poor people, I forget who they were, but they accepted the order because I guess they needed some kind of flags. But you just say yes, and that's how you get going. And most of us did that. It's what you do to grow your business as entrepreneurs. You say yes to anything. And then you figure out how you're going to do it, right? So things go along, and you're growing your business. And then you start to get to the next place in your business. And then suddenly you're still that same entrepreneur, and you say yes to everything. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and then you get to the place where it's not just you, but there's more people. I have a client, because I do business coaching and I work with lots of people in all kinds of different types of businesses. And I have a client, I've worked with this business for a number of years, and she has a wonderful company, she's got a great team. But what would happen is customers would contact her team and they'd want a quick turnaround on something. And so what would happen is they would call the company and they'd say no. So then the customer, the wannabe customer, would work back up and they'd call her directly. And they'd ask her. And she would always say yes. And it would cause a big mess in the company because then she said yes. She'd have to go back to her team and say, look, I told these guys we could do this. And then they would try and sort out the mess. And this would go on, and she was not very popular with her team then. So what we did is she made up a nice little card, and it said that word, and it said no, and she put it right on her phone. So anytime somebody called, she was looking at that no. So she started to say no. And then she went the other way for a while and said no, but it solved a big problem in her company. And she had to learn how to say no, because as entrepreneurs, we're so programmed to say yes. We really are. Like saying no to a customer, like hello. Fast forward, I had a costume company, and I used to build mascots here. And I was over on High Street, and I did these nice big mascots, these characters with big heads and the matching bodies. Everybody was fat, right? They wore those things. They made you look like that. And I had an industrial space where I made these things, and in the front I had a showroom, and I had costumes there. So I rented things out, and people would come in because it was fun, right? You could go in and look around and try things on. Maybe you're going to have an event. So here would be me. I'm in the back. I've got this deadline because they were for events, and people needed these things. So I would have a deadline I had to meet to ship something, and people would come in looking around, and they're going to maybe spend $40 on a costume. I charged $4,000 for a mascot. And I would be putting my customer, I would be saying no to them, and I'd be out in the front helping a $40 customer. Now, none of you have probably done anything like that, right? But that was what I did. And then not only did I say no to the customer, but then I was saying yes to working late at night, oftentimes to midnight, sometimes all night, to get that project done, because that's what I knew how to do. And it was that mindset of an entrepreneur that tells you, yeah, you know, you can't say no to a customer. That's really wrong. You got to say yes. And you learn the hard way sometimes. So no is a powerful word to use to grow your business. I encourage you to say no when you want to. And sometimes looking at different places in your business where you need to say no. As business owners, we tend to be, and I know you're all awesome people, but sometimes we look at things and we just see what we want to see. It may not be quite where it's going to be yet, but it's going to work out fabulous. Everything is going to be awesome. I know it's going to work out. You know, just give it a little bit more time and it's going to happen. How many times do we say that to ourselves? So, so what you want to do is get real with your business. Start looking at your business from a different perspective. And sometimes we can't do that alone. It may mean looking at your numbers. It may mean talking to your accountant and asking, how are we doing on these different product lines? I had a company I worked with, 3 of their key management people, and we went in and we looked at what was happening in their company. And there was one product line, one service that they did that wasn't profitable. So they had no clue what was happening with that. So what we did, we went in and I talked to the 3 of them. It was the first thing I did. I talked to the 3 of them individually. It turned out all of them had been investing time into this particular product line, huge amounts of time, which is money, right? And none of them knew that. So sometimes there's things going on that you can fix. As soon as they realized how much time was being invested into this product line, like, whoa, man, we've got to fix this. And so then they started to work on it, and they started to say no to how things were done, the same old way all the time. Sometimes you got to mix it up. And saying no to those things is the first step. Starting to look at the truth. You may need to get your accountant to help you identify those gaps that are in your business. That's not fun. But aren't we in business to make money? And we don't want to work harder. It's not fun. We heard about play. We want to play, man. And, you know, and we heard from Patrick about systems. That's what we want to do is keep things grooving and moving along. And so that's one of the things you want to do. You want to have a coach. You want to also, to help you with some of those things, you also want to look at members of your team and ask them, what do we need to say no to? What do we need to do to make things more efficient? Oftentimes we don't ask. If you don't ask, they're not going to tell you. They don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to like say the wrong thing. And ask your customers. Ask your customers. Sometimes they can give you a lot of great help with that as well. The other piece is how you say no is really important. Anybody ever had somebody say no to them? Maybe you got an email and they're saying no, or they might have sent you a text. Anybody got one of those and it sounded like way over the top? Yeah, you're being really nice. I know you've all had those. But you don't want to be the one sending it out. I have companies that send me people sometimes that are like, if they don't smarten up, they're going to be like shipped to Siberia or somewhere. But saying no is one of those things that can be taken the wrong way. So you want to practice that and get really good at it. And there's different ways to say no. Do you want to practice that now?
No.
Did you say no? Or did you say no? And it's one of those words can be said so many different ways, can be taken the wrong way by different people, but it's one of the most important words you can learn to say in your business. It's what's going to help you to grow and to be more profitable. You can't keep doing things the same way. You've got to say no sometimes. And it's not fun, it's not pleasant, it's not play, but it can lead you to those things. And another part of that is helping your people. If you've got a team that works with you, you need to educate them on how to say no. Sometimes we leave that out. We forget. We think they'll know. They don't know unless we tell them. And you need to explain what to say no to, what's acceptable to say no to. Because we don't often communicate that. Or when we're delegating something and they're really busy, we may not have told them when it's okay to say no to us and what really is too busy. And so a lot of times, no is one of those words. If you can use that in your company, everybody can grow together. So I'd like to just open up. Anybody have any questions about saying no? No questions to no? Well, I'm glad you all know your no's. But it's a great way to grow your business. And I encourage you to leave here and just think about one thing. One thing. It can be a little thing that you can say no to. And I challenge you to think of one thing that you can say no to. That's it.